by the time Ivy realized who he really was. Her savings were gone. Her house was lost, and her son had stopped speaking to her.
He wasn't an actor, he wasn't rich, he wasn't even in the same country, but for 10 months, he was her entire world. This is the story of Ivy, a 63-year-old mother, a divorcee, and someone who thought she'd finally found peace after a hard life. But what started with a friendly Facebook message turned into the kind of nightmare that doesn't just ruin your finances, it rewires your entire sense of reality. Welcome to Law Logic. Stories, then diagnosis. Ivy was the kind of woman who didn't complain. She had raised a son, worked a mid-level office job for most of her life, and survived a painful divorce that ended a 25-year marriage. She wasn't looking for attention. She wasn't scrolling Tinder or trying to find herself. She just liked to keep up with friends on Facebook, watch crime shows at night, and take her dog, Bear, on long walks through her neighborhood. But loneliness has layers, and it has a way of growing quietly, like mold behind a wall. You don't realize how deep it's gotten until something cracks. That crack came in the form of a message. "Hi, Ivy. I came across your comment on a post. You seem like a warm, genuine person. I'd love to talk to you privately if that's okay." The message came from a man whose profile photo made her stop breathing for a second. Mark Harmon. Of course, Ivy knew it couldn't really be him. He was the star of NCIS, a household name, but the account looked different. Not like a fan page, not like spam. It had candid photos, behind-the-scenes selfies, even what looked like direct posts about feeling burnt out with fame. So she replied, "Just to see. I doubt this is really you, but hello." He responded almost immediately. "I use this private account to escape the chaos. You're safe here with me." That one line disarmed her more than it should have. The pace of their conversation was slow at first. He told her he hated fame, that the industry was fake, that people used him for his money, that he just wanted someone who listened. And Ivy listened, because after years of feeling invisible, suddenly someone was watching her, noticing her, caring. He never asked for anything, not for weeks. He told her about his childhood, his struggles, his regrets. He said she reminded him of his mother, wise, grounded, gentle, and Ivy slowly let her guard down. They began talking every day, first through Facebook Messenger. Then he suggested they move to a more secure app called Zangi. "Too many bots on Facebook," he said. "Let's talk somewhere safer. Just us." So she downloaded it. She had never even heard of it before, but she didn't want to seem out of touch. What followed was months, 10 full months of constant daily messages. Morning texts like, "Good morning, my angel." Late-night notes like, "I dreamed of our life together again." He told her he was preparing to leave Hollywood, that he was planning to open a private film school, that he would need someone smart, someone mature, to help him run it, someone like Ivy. It wasn't long before "I love you" slipped into the chats. Then he said something that caught her breath. "I want you to be my wife, Ivy. Let's have a quiet ceremony, just you and me, no cameras." She cried that night. She hadn't felt that wanted in decades. She told her best friend she was seeing someone, but she didn't say who or how. She started making plans, cleared a room in her home, even ordered a dress online, a pale blue one, soft sleeves, simple neckline. They never video called. Every time she asked, there was a glitch. Bad connection, studio hours, travel, and Ivy believed him. Because when the heart leads, logic gets blurry.
Things felt too good to be true. Because they were. The first time Ivy's fiancé brought up money, it was wrapped in concern. He told her there was a delay in his studio contract, and he couldn't access a bank in time to secure a real estate deal for the film school. He needed someone he trusted to help bridge the gap, just for a few days. "It's only $12,000. You'll have it back before the week ends." That number stunned her. Ivy had never transferred that much money to anyone, especially not someone she'd never met in person. She hesitated, but he sent her a video of his house in LA. He told her, "I trust you with everything, Ivy. This is our dream now." He even sent her what looked like a scanned copy of a business contract. She wired the money. When nothing came back after a week, he apologized, said his lawyer had messed up. He was embarrassed. He promised to make it right. And then came the next ask. $25,000 this time, for a tax clearance needed for international business transfers, then $40,000 for equipment investments. By month 6, Ivy had already poured over $100,000 into a relationship that existed only on her screen. She sold her SUV, pawned her late mother's wedding ring, took out a second mortgage on her house. Each time, the excuse was new, but the pressure was the same. "We're so close to starting our life, Ivy. Don't stop now." Her son noticed something was off. When he asked why she was always on her phone, or why she was suddenly behind on property tax, she brushed it off. She was in love. And in love, people do things they can't explain. One night, Ivy got an email from her mortgage lender. She hadn't paid in 3 months. Foreclosure was being considered. She called her husband-to-be in a panic. He didn't pick up. He texted later, "I'll handle it. Don't do anything rash. Trust me, my Ivy." But nothing was handled. Her house, the one she'd lived in for 17 years, was on the line. Desperate, she told her son everything. All 40,000 messages, all the screenshots, the business documents, the wedding dress. He didn't yell. He sat her down and asked for one thing. "Let me search this guy's pictures." He dragged one image into Google reverse image search. Thousands of hits, all of them linked to Mark Harmon, the actor. The real one. Not a private account, not a secret profile, just a well-known face used by thousands of scammers around the world. Ivy froze. She didn't scream, she didn't cry, she simply sat there, staring at her phone. The man she'd been speaking to wasn't real. Not only had she lost $475,000, she had given her future to a ghost. The next morning, she got an eviction notice. Her bank couldn't help. Local police traced the money, but it was already transferred overseas, most likely through crypto and untraceable platforms. Her therapist later described her state as emotional collapse. She stayed in bed for a week. Her son brought food. She didn't eat it. She wasn't just grieving the money. She was grieving a man who didn't exist, a future that was fake, a love story that was never hers. All of it was engineered. Every message, every voice note, every good morning beautiful text, scripted with surgical precision to create a bond stronger than logic. She didn't just get scammed, she got reprogrammed. Let's step back. How does a woman like Ivy, smart, grounded, stable, end up losing nearly $500,000 to a man she never met? The answer isn't just greed or foolishness. It's neurology, emotion, and manipulation. Let's break it down. Loneliness hijacks the brain. Prolonged emotional isolation can cause the brain to crave connection the way a starving person craves food. Studies show that emotional neglect physically alters activity in the ventral striatum, the same reward center triggered by gambling, drugs, or falling in love. Ivy wasn't just in love. Her brain was starved, and Mark fed it exactly what it needed. parasocial grooming. The scammer didn't choose a random profile. He used the face of a trusted celebrity, someone Ivy had watched on TV for over a decade. That familiarity creates instant emotional credit. Your brain already believes the person is kind, strong, safe. This is called the halo effect. We subconsciously assign good traits to attractive or known faces. So even though Ivy never saw this man in person, she felt like she knew him. Trauma bonding. Scammers use reward-punishment cycles to create emotional addiction. Ivy would receive warmth, love, attention, followed by panic, guilt, or stress if she didn't send money. This roller coaster builds attachment through cortisol spikes and dopamine crashes, the same pattern found in abusive relationships. By the time Ivy saw red flags, her brain chemistry had already overwritten her logic. Cognitive dissonance. Once she had sent the first $12,000, Ivy's mind began protecting itself. To avoid the shame of being wrong, the brain doubles down on its belief. He must be real. Otherwise, I'm stupid, and I'm not stupid. So she ignored clues, rationalized lies, and rewrote reality to fit her emotional investment. 5. Grooming through textual overload. Over 40,000 messages were exchanged. That's not a fling. That's immersion. The scammer built an entire alternate reality, one line at a time. Ivy's daily routine, thoughts, even emotions were being shaped by an invisible architect. This wasn't just a scam, it was psychological reprogramming. Ivy never got her money back. But what hurt more wasn't the lost savings. It was losing a love that never existed. It was explaining to her son how she believed it. It was waking up each morning and realizing none of it was real. But she's not alone. According to the Federal Trade Commission, romance scams cost Americans over $1.3 billion in a single year. Most victims are over age 60. Scams often escalate in private messaging apps like Zangi, Telegram, and WhatsApp. If someone online wants your trust, but avoids your questions, your face, your truth, they don't love you. They love what they can take from you. And sometimes, what they take is everything. His is Law Logic. Stories, then diagnosis. If this story moved you, subscribe for more real-life psychological breakdowns.